In this video, we are going to read first chapter of Master Your Mind, and in upcoming video, we will provide you all chapters of this book. If you want to buy this book, link in description. Chapter number 1. Understanding the mind. The first step is understanding mind is to realize that your thoughts are what determines your everyday experience. This is the basic premise of all spiritual tests and aesthetic schools of the thought. It is also reflected in many scientific phrases such as quantum mechanics. People have certain thoughts patterns that they picked up from the wider society, from their parents, from groups and organizations, etc. They then project these thoughts patterns onto their surroundings, and they mistakenly believe that their own projection and interpretation are the truth, but the truth is different for everybody, depending on their particular thoughts. This is why here is a much diversity in the world today. Thoughts become things. A core component of spiritual growth lies in removing all the thoughts patterns that we have picked up when we are young. These were just programmed into us. When we learn to remove and reinstall different thoughts and beliefs is when we start to come into our true autonomy as master over our minds. And this is partially why meditation is recommended across time and culture. We are able to calmly observe our own thoughts patterns without reaction or involvement. This is one of the only ways that we can see things objectively. Otherwise, we tend to identify with our gender, politics, ideology, nationality or classes, and we naturally see this is as a correct due to our limited life experience. People who do not understand the power of their own minds are largely lost as they cannot identify as conscious creator of their own reality. They will consistently find fault with the world and ask why it is difficult to contend with. Understanding the power of the thoughts is the first step to personal mastery. The insanity of the mind. From the perspective of spiritual systems, the mind is irrational, illogical, and insane. We are required to observe the mind and detach from it in order to see the dysfunction. But we can also observe this dysfunction of the gender scale with the wars, hates, environmental destruction, racism, sexism, homophobia, political attacks, broken relationships, government spying programs, smartphone addiction, health problems, and more. Something is a little dysfunctional with the human population, and this is the result of millions of minds that are not in the right place. Social media and centralized media also serve to program these minds into state of disempowerment and fear. And advertising also a quite destructive effort as it encourages people to smoke cigarette, drink alcohol, and consume sugar and caffeine. As important point to remember is that you are not immune to advertising even if you think you are. When you perceive something, it leaves a mental impression in your subconscious. So unless you switch off your TV and avoid going into shop, you are a victim of advertising. Scientific discoveries and physiological observations. There are some scientific discoveries and physiological observations which might be interested in understanding how mind works. This include, first, the mind cannot distinguish between real and imaginary. Second, 95% of your activity is subconscious. Third, your subconscious has stored everything has ever happened to you, much like gigantic computer. 4. We are bombarded with 2 million bits of data every second. It is the job of subconscious to filter through all of this. 5th, the conscious mind remembers between 5 to 9 pieces of information. This information passes to the subconscious for processing to free up conscious space. 6th, most of our energy expenditure goes towards the brain. These discoveries have important implications. If the majority of our lives are fulfilled by the subconscious, it follows that we should try to manipulate our subconscious mind to oppose to our conscious ability. According to Carl Jung, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fat. Programming of subconscious for conscious growth is the basic of affirmation and self-hypnosis of empowerment. But along with these strategies, these are other things to consider in order to create a positive mindset for growth and fulfillment.